welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be going over everything that sold at my market and how much I made. In a previous video, I showed you everything I had crocheted for it, and then my market was yesterday, and I have my numbers in today from Square. I just sent the report to my email, so I've got the numbers, and we can go over exactly how I did. So let's get into it. Also, these items are in alphabetical order, not in the order they sold. I think I could find that on the app, but the report that I sent to my email, it just listed the products in alphabetical order. So we're going to go off of that because I can have that on the computer in front of me. Anyway, the first item is a baby shark that sold for $12. That was a pattern off of Etsy. The next thing that sold was a chunky boy mushroom. That was originally a pattern from Ribbler, which I modified to make smaller so I could sell it for a little bit cheaper. That sold for $15. The next thing that sold was a fox rattle, which is my fox rattle pattern that I used to make that item. That sold for $25. And I think that was the most expensive item that sold at my market yesterday. If you guys are interested in that pattern, I have it on my Etsy. I'll link it below. And anyone who watches this video can use the code YouTube20 for 28% off the purchase of the pattern. And if you do purchase, thank you, but don't feel obligated. The next item that sold was an Etsy pattern from another designer. It was an ice cream. The next thing that sold was a large bee. I think, if I'm recalling correctly, that came from a YouTube tutorial, but really any bee pattern will do. Mine just happens to be about yay big in person, and I sold it for $20. The next items that sold were two mini bees. I don't remember if they were two separate transactions. They might have been. But I sold two mini bees, and it was a free pattern on Instagram. They each sold for $9. The next thing that sold were mini mushrooms. One mini mushroom. That was originally a Katie Bean Creative pattern that I slightly modified, but she has a free, I don't remember if it's just a free pattern or a free tutorial. It might be both now. But yeah, Katie Bean Creative sold one for $12. The next items that sold were all from the same pattern, but two different yarns were used, therefore two different prices were used. So I sold one mini octo made with regular yarn for $5, and then three plush mini octos, so it was slightly bigger, and I sold those for $9, totaling $27 for the larger size of them. Those are all from Jade, free tutorial on YouTube. The next thing that sold was my crochet penguin. That pattern came from Etsy, I'm pretty sure. He was really cute. He sold for $15. The next item is a rainbow heart rattle. This was a pattern that I bought for just the heart, and then I modified it to add it to basically a teething ring, and I used a rattle ball insert in it. But when I was crocheting it, I accidentally skipped around on one of the tops of the hearts. So one was slightly taller than the other, so it was in my clearance bin item, and that sold for $5. The next thing that sold was my seashell for $9. Then we have my rainbow squid that sold for $12. And I did not love the look of that. I held colorful yarn double, so the color scheme was kind of chaotic, but I did like that pattern. The next thing I sold were two silicone teething rings. Those are not crochet items, but I do bring them to my market. I bought them and I'm basically reselling them. I sold a blue one and a sage one if you're interested. And when they buy two, they can get them for $3 each instead of $4. And the next thing I sold was a turtle. I think that was from a free tutorial on YouTube as well. That sold for $15. So that was all of my Square purchases. which covers both cash and card, because I run my cash transactions through the Square app too, because it'll count how much money is like in my drawer so I can balance my drawer at the end of the event. So from Square alone, because I also made purchases not through Square, that total profit, I guess not profit, but that total revenue was $217.60 from just my Square transactions. Then through Venmo, I made 2 transactions. One to a lady who bought a $20 item, and I honestly don't remember what $20 item it was, and I have not gone through my inventory list to figure out basically what I'm missing, which would be, unless I got robbed, which I hope I didn't. We were at a booth all day, so I don't think I did. But yeah, I'd have to go through to figure out what item that was, but it was one of my $20 items. So if you watch the last video, you can see I only had a small handful of items for $20. And then I sold 3 scrunchies, $5 each, to a friend of mine who was in the booth next to me at the market. Each were $5, so that was a $15 transaction. And then through Facebook Pay, right before the market, another friend of mine reached out wanting to buy a bee keychain from me that I also sell for $15. Let me just add up those. That makes my total revenue for the market $267.60. The booth fee was $65. So, not including the food we ate, because I don't have those numbers in front of me, I made around $200 at the market yesterday. I think it's pretty good. Not an all-time high as far as crochet markets go, I hear. But it's spring season, so it's expected to be a little bit slower in the spring for sales, uh, including online as well. My Etsy, I've got like slow sales. But after summer, it picks up. So as far as upcoming markets go, I have one April 15th. That is the berry pick. If you follow me on Instagram, and you should, that's at Cotton Baby Crochet. They just tagged me in a post about the upcoming event because it's on the 15th, and I will be periodically resharing that. So if you happen to live in Inverness, Florida, that's where I'll be on the 15th. And then on the 16th, I have another market at Beasley Farms in Brooksville, Florida. So come to that one too if you're nearby. And then I am trying to get into a market in the first weekend of May. I have applied, so I'm waiting to hear back. But that, I think, will be my last one for the spring season because I don't do the heat well. And I've already got markets booked for fall, and that's really like the booming time for sales is fall because people are thinking about buying gifts. So if you're gonna get into markets, I suggest starting in spring because it's a good way to ease into it. But if you're trying to make max money, book fall. But I don't know that I would recommend doing fall time as your first market because it can be chaotic. So unless you've prepared like a massive amount of stock and really trust your like capabilities, I would ease into it. But yeah, that is all for this video. And if you guys want to see more crochet content, especially business content, because that's the part I'm personally really interested in talking about, go ahead and like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. We're already starting to grow this little crochet community, and that brings joy to my heart. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.